Matt, and breathe. The transfer window is shut. Can we just reflect first on your business throughout the summer months? If I'd have told you at the start of the summer, 16 signings, the players you bought in, I imagine you'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, a lot of business, much needed at times. I think I said after the game at the weekend in the club interview, we tried to recruit a certain profile, certain type of person first and foremost, and a certain type of player, one which is going to benefit the club for the long run and a long-term vision, which we've all got, and the board included in terms of that. But pleased with how we've started, because whenever you have so many new faces in the building, you need time for them to gel and to work together and to combine and to learn about each other. But then when the league starts, you're still judged by results. So hopefully it's been a positive window off the pitch, and then on the pitch we're starting to see the signs of the fruits of our labour, really.
Did the signings you announced on Friday, Shaq and Gatlin, turn a good transfer window into a very good transfer window?
I hope so. Time will tell in relation to that. Obviously, Gats one had been grumbling for a little while. The previous week we thought we were getting closer. Certain profile of player like we spoke about, good physicality, adds to that front line. He's hungry, wants to come here and not prove a point but to be successful. And then the Shaq one, like I said previously, that had been there, gone away, come back, gone away at different stages throughout the window, is probably too hefty for us, but then come the last day and come quite late on the last day, all of a sudden it was obtainable. So, Shaq's a player who is now one of our own players, and we can develop him. He'll need time because he's had a disjointed pre-season and start to the season, unfortunately, but a real talent, and certainly one we're classing as an asset to this football club, because we know that if we get him fit and firing and playing well, he's a very good player for this level and above.
So you've kind of answered my next question, but in terms of Barnsley, is it likely a bench, the best possible scenario for them on Saturday?
Well, yes, more so on the back of a winning performance and a good enough performance where the majority, as long as they're fit and available, deserve to keep their shirts. Obviously, Camille's away on international duty, so we have to look what we want to do in relation to our midfield. But yeah, generally, you don't want to change a winning team and a team who put in a performance like they did at the weekend, but you do want to get these players on the pitch as early as you possibly can. So we'll try and find the balance. I don't think either in a position to start the game, just on the back of the amount of the training they've had with us and previous training and game exposure. So we'll always try and get the balance right, but we'll be able to be reactive off the bench.
And you can't speak for George Friend, but it was his first summer in his new role. How important, he hit the ground running, didn't he? I mean, what role did he play in all the recruitment?
Yeah, well, George is, anyone who knows George Friend knows what he stands for as a person, first and foremost. He will do the best he possibly can, no matter what the circumstances. And it was far from straightforward this summer. And for his first window or exposure to it, he's done fantastically well, conducted himself in a way which reflects his football club, but reflects himself and like I said, what he stands for first and foremost. And got the business done. He's been a pleasure to work with. I'm sure the board would stay the same, so I'm kind of working up with him and the board are working alongside him or working down with him. That's an incredible statement to say, where you're liked by all, not only liked but respected by all as well, and I'm sure that goes outside our club to other football clubs. So the Bristol Rovers name, I think, is improving in the outer society of football, I suppose, and that's down to George. So yeah, hopefully now he can take the biggest, deepest breath, because he's done the most amount of work and he's probably been the one under the hammer more than anyone else. So he can now sort of not relax in any way, but just take a deep breath. The first thing we've all got to do is reflect on it together as a group, as a recruitment staff, as a board, as a coaching group, reflect on what we've been able to obtain and the business we've done, and then look towards January. It's incredible where one window closes and already you're talking about what's next, but that's the way to progress.
And given the business you did manage to do towards the end of the window, is it unlikely you'll turn to the free agent market, certainly in the short term?
Well, there's a potential there. Everyone knows we're still in the goalkeeping market. Number 2, number 3, whatever you want to call that position, that place. So there's a chance we'll look into that. And then with the numbers we've brought in, we have to be respectful of budgets and finances and the amount of senior players we've got in our current squad. So we're not chasing any other positions other than the one I've mentioned. We'll see how that materialises in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. But yeah, we're generally quite comfortable. But then you might have a spate of injuries, and you've got to go to it. We spoke last week about the PFA team and the amount of players out of contract and without a club, and the majority of those have remained in that position. So you never say never, but it's not an immediate protocol.
Are you pleasantly surprised we have a game this weekend? It seems most of the games in League One and League Two are off because of the internationals.
Yeah, well, we won a free, I think. So not many, certainly at League One level. We maybe expected not to have a fixture this weekend, but it became apparent quite early on that we had two, and I think Barnsley had 2 or 3 in the same situation on standby. Yeah, we want to play. We're looking forward to it. I just see it as a great opportunity, probably for both teams, to put more points on the board. And I know it'd be a game you've played more than the majority of the opposition in the league table, but get up the league as early as you can and get points on the board. And always, when there's no other games elsewhere other than the international ones, then it'd be well attended. There'll be more people there from a scouting opposition perspective, so a good one for players to impress, and I want the club to impress this weekend.
Yeah, playoffs last season, Darryl Clark, we all know about him. What do you expect from Barnsley on Saturday?
Playoff team at this level, pushing the top echelons of the league, a strong team. Will be managed by someone we're quite familiar with as a club. I know Darryl pretty well myself, so yeah, he really suits what Barnsley are as a football club. We went there last season and weren't quite ready for the start of the game, and almost played catch up in that game. We can't allow that to happen again this time round. They're on the back of a couple of good results as well. They were 3-0 up at half time against Crawley, and that could have been a lot more than that. They've had a good couple of cup runs as well, cup results. So they're on the high. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic game of football. Good time to go. Good pitch, big pitch. There will be space, but then, as always, when you're away from home, you've got to earn the space and then capitalise on it. Something we've not done quite yet away from home.
Yeah, how important is a win on Saturday to build on Saturday, start getting some back-to-back wins as well?
Yeah, exactly that. We don't want all the pressure to be on our home form. We want to alleviate with some good results away from home. We've threatened without quite getting the goals on board and the results on board away from home. So yeah, we're really looking forward to this weekend. Like I say, he's got probably a bigger exposure to the outside world, and hopefully on the back of our result last weekend, Barnsley's result, it'd be a well-attended game.
Extra spring in the step of promise after his goals last week?
Yeah, nothing better for a centre forward than goals, and then obviously the second one as well. Yeah, just that pressure just lifts a little bit of the expectation, and we all go through it. But I don't go through it because I was never close enough to the opposition goal to be under pressure to score. But there's no better feeling in football than scoring a goal. So Promise had that, and to do it in front of his home fans and his family, and on top of a good performance where you got the points, I think that was a really big moment for him.
And lots of nice things on social media about your goalkeeper. How important is it that he settled in so quickly?
Well, we said when we signed him, we hoped and expected him to be what he's turned out to be. I think he only really had one save to make of note last weekend, but everything he did alongside that was impressive. He's calm. I think it's his birthday today. He turned 23, so young for a goalkeeper. Such a big future ahead of him, and we're pleased we're able to play a part in his development along the way. He's going to be a Championship, if not a Premier League goalkeeper. He's got everything going for him, including time. So yeah, we're looking forward to what he becomes in the long term, but in the short term, let's hope he keeps performing for us.
And after the bad news of team news last week, and you reported the injuries, is the squad looking a bit healthier going into this week's match?
Well, yeah, no hamstring tears or leg breaks this week. The odd bump and bruise, obviously the international aspect of Camille and Michael Forbes not been available. But yeah, nothing of note. And all of a sudden Chrissy's a week closer to his return. Joel the same. Jamie Lindsay's out on the grass with a medial knee ligament injury. It's all straight line and low level stuff, but he'll build up next week. So yeah, they'll come back at some stage. Key thing will be, can we be in as strong a position as possible when they do?